Hi, Rocío.
Hi, Anna. How are you?
Very happy. I'm very happy to have you here.
Likewise, I'm very happy to be here with you.
So I have invited you to be here online with me reading this beautiful scene because it's the sisterhood. I mean, if there is any scene about sisterhood, I think is this moment is very special. And because you are my cousin and you live in London and you know very well Little Women, I wanted to read with me this scene. So tell us about you.
Well, hi everyone. I'm Rocio. I'm Anna's cousin and I live in London, as she said. I live here with my family. I have two little boys and I've been living in London for almost 10 years. I spent a couple of years abroad in Dubai, but I'm back in London, a city that I really love. And here I am. I'm very excited to share this moment with you.
It's fantastic. And yes, you have been traveling around. You are like really fast.
Yes, I do. I love it. I love traveling. I love going around. Yes.
Beautiful. It's beautiful. You have seen many places. Um, so let's start with, if you want, with this thing. I would start just as I usually say. I will be reading Beth. You will be reading Joe, and also the narration or the voice of the narrator. But I will start with the first few lines.
Sounds good.
Perfect. So let's start with this. Interior, Meg and Amy's room, Orchid House, night, snow. By candlelight, Meg brushes Amy's golden hair and ties it in rag curls. And I'm going to explain rag curls is this fabric that we use, usually cotton, and rags, actually, some pieces of fabric that you use it and you curl the hair like this and then back and tie it with a knot. So then at the end, your hair is full of rags, and the next morning you take off those rags and you have beautiful Victorian curls. Amy has a clothespin clipped on her nose because you know that Amy is always very concerned and very worried about the size of her nose, and she is always wearing at night this thing. And from somewhere distantly comes faint piano music, and faint in this case means not vivid, so we could say melancholic somehow.
Interior, Joe and Beth's room, Orchard House, night, snow. Joe and Beth cuddle together at the snowy window. Cuddle means being close to one another, like a hug. Wrapped in a counterpane. The counterpane here is sort of like a quilt, like a little blanket, and they're listening intently. Intently means like carefully. From next door, exquisite piano music. Beth wipes a tear with a fold of her nightgown. A nightgown is what she was wearing at night, like sort of like a pajama, and she wipes the tear out.
Beth March, how does he make it sound so sad?
Joe March, I like sad things, awful, terrible things. Nothing ever happens to us.
Beth March, oh Joe, don't say that.
Joe's point of view, exterior, Lauren's house, night, snowfall. Through the gauze of lace, Joe can glimpse Laurie at the piano. Glimpse means seen from the distance. Joe March, perhaps he has a tragic secret. Savoring this. Savoring means like she's enjoying what she's saying. A tragic European secret.
Beth March, perhaps he's just lonely, alarming thoughts. You don't think he'll try to call?
Joe March, why would he see us after living in Italy? Sighs dissatisfied. If only I could go to Europe. Somehow I won't be myself until I see Europe. Doesn't he have a noble brow? Noble brow means this part of the forehead, like this. If I were a boy, I'd want to look just like that, a noble figure with a tragic secret. Joe suddenly grabs a floppy red velveteen thinking cap. This means a floppy is something that falls like the dog ears, something that falls. And then the red velveteen thinking cap is a little cap that she wears, that it has this texture In español es aterciopelado. Scrambling around for writing paper. Scrambling means moving fast from one place to another. Jo March continued. This part is something she's made up, she's inventing. The lost Duke of Gloucester, who turned his back on a fortune because it's slave money his father trades in human flesh. Damn it, I need writing paper. Damn it means like an expression of exasperation, like, oh my God, where is the paper? She scans some papers and inventively starts erasing them. She pretends that she's removing something from them. Jo March continued. So he leaves Barbados.
Beth March sleepily. I thought he was a duke in England.
Jo March. His mother's family. Forbidden marriage.
Beth March. I like your forbidden marriages.
Jo tucks Beth in. Tucks means covering with a blanket to go to bed. Jo tucks Beth in, grabs the candle, and flies out of the room. Interior. Garret of Orchid House. Garret means, I didn't know that word, and Anna very kindly told me what that meant. It's like the attic, is the top of the house. Late night, exterior snowfall. Jo sits up late by the small light of the candle, scratching pen over paper. Her velveteen hat slipped sideways on her head. Jo's lips move as she whispers to herself, writing. Outside, snow falls steadily. Steadily means constant, like it's snowing a lot and it's a constant snow. Cut to exterior, hovel behind a carriage house, night, snowfall. Snow drifts and nearly obscures a windowless hovel, no larger than a coal shed. Inside.
Yes. And that's it. This is the end of this scene, because now it starts another part that will guide us to another situation. But fantastic. Thank you, Rocío, for reading so well these lines, and you have explained very well each expression and vocabulary. So let's review together for our audience and for my coaching people some of the expressions and some of the vocabulary. So tell me three, for example, that has called your attention, the ones that have called your attention.
Well, very kindly from your side, I've learned a new word today, garret. That means attic, and it's an expression that I will definitely use. I would also say maybe velveteen. I think it's a very beautiful word. It's also quite it's quite old-fashioned. It's something you probably won't use in slang, but it's something that for writing an essay or something important is a very nice word to have. And I think damn it is a good one, because it's something that you actually use right now in the UK and wherever you go. So I like it and I use it.
Exactly, and it's a colloquial way, but it doesn't sound so bad.
No, exactly. You're not saying a bad word, a swear word, but you're still saying, oh, I am exasperated.
Exactly. Fantastic.
What about you?
I really like the expressions also that we have learned with the faint piano music. In these stinos is very important, that atmosphere of something melancholic is being is sounding from the distance, and is the neighbor that we will meet him later, and they see him as someone very exotic, because of they know he had lived in Italy. And faint piano music is something very interesting. So faint, it means not vivid, and I learned also with this reading that expression. I also have learned inventively, that we can guess the meaning because it comes from invention, right? But I didn't use it before that adverb, and I think it's very useful, inventively. And I would also say the word gauze of lace, because gauze is transparent, and lace is this fabric that is made by hand, usually with threads, It could be also made by machine, but we know that very well. It's like el visillo, ¿no? Como, so they are literally serving como la vieja del visillo, ¿no? They are watching the steam or the name in front of them through that place. Yes. And they are very also technical works like velvet itself. Yeah, so I think also scrambling, I like it. Moving very quickly with a purpose, like she in that
something.
Yes. So I think with that we have reviewed very well the vocabulary and expressions. So yes. Let's comment now what it means to you, or what have you discovered about this relationship that these girls have, this sisterhood, we could say. What have you?
I think what I enjoy the most about this scene is that the trust that they have with one another, that they trust each other, they are sharing this moment. It's a very intimate moment between two sisters, and I like that. I can relate, and I think, as you say, sisterhood is a beautiful word that we can use when we have like this kind of level of intimacy with a friend or with a person we can really trust. So I like it. I like the fact that they can share with one another their thoughts and their feelings, and it also enhances their personalities. It really puts into a lot of perspective how Joe is and how Beth, on the contrary, is. They have completely opposite personalities, but they complement one another.
Perfectly, that's true, and it's true because, as we know, Joe is fire, is passion, is expressing her emotions through writing. And Beth is the musician. She plays the piano and she hears. She loves listening to her telling stories, and this is a compliment, a beautiful compliment. There must be someone to listen to the person that is telling the stories. So
absolutely,
that's so nice and very well balanced from the perspective of the writer. And it's interesting how also Louisa May Alcott has divided the girls, the four girls, Amy, the oldest, with Amy, Meg, the oldest, with Amy, the oldest and the youngest are together in the room, whereas Joe and Beth that are in the middle, so the second and the third, are together in another room, and that's very also interesting. And also knowing the elements, no, like Beth is air, Joe is fire, and these two elements complement each other very well. Whereas earth and water complement each other very well as well.
Yes, absolutely.
And that's beautiful. I mean, it is full. The script is very well written. I have to say that this script is beautiful. It's from the 1994, but in the novel we can see all the details. And I found really interesting how they see the exotic, life that the neighbor is having, and how they long for that kind of experiences. They are hoping to experience something like that.
She says that at the beginning, right? She says, "Oh, nothing happens to us. Like, our life is very boring. We are like in our routine." And we say in English, like, grass is always greener in the other side. And it's true. We always look at what the other people have, and they might find very exotic that he travels and he's been here and there. Probably on the other side, he probably longs for something they have. So it's a really interesting thing to read. Yes.
Yes, beautiful. And also because they are teenagers. They are in this moment of life that they are becoming an adult, but they are not still adults, so they can't really move and have their own independence.
Yes.
But they will achieve it in some moment, and we will see that in the next few readings, hopefully. So till here, Rocío, but I wanted to ask you, how is your English so good? I know it's because you are living there, but also because you are a good reader yourself.
I absolutely love reading. I've always had. I mean, I've been studying English all my life. It's a process. You will never get. Being bilingual is something almost impossible if you haven't been raised as a bilingual child. As my children, they are really lucky, but in my case, it's work in progress. So I've always been English classes, tutors. I came to study here during university, and then I've lived here and I've worked here for many years. So yeah, it's a great journey, and you never stop learning. So even today, you've heard me. You knew that I didn't know Garrett, so you helped me with that one. So you never stop.
Yes, it's true. It's a never-ending story. I always say to people, this is a never-ending story. I mean, there
Yes,
is no limit. That will be always something that you need
absolutely.
to learn, because it's infinite.
That's the
Then
beauty of language, right? That it always surprises you with something else. So it's, I think the more you read and the more you practice, the better, obviously, and speaking as well.
yeah. And what is the book that you are reading lately?
I've just finished The Tattooist of Auschwitz. I don't know if you've read it. It's absolutely compelling. I couldn't stop reading. It's one of these like page turners. You just cannot stop reading, and it's really shocking. It's a really dramatic story about the Jews and their experience in the concentration camps, but it's a very nice fiction of a love story in the concentration camp, and it's wonderful. So I really recommend it to whoever is interested.
Yes, I will place it somewhere in the link so then people can find out what is the story about. And
Yes.
yeah, it must be very moving.
Indeed, indeed. And so, sometimes it was actually quite, it was so moving that I had to stop reading it for a while, and then I came back to it because you have to stop and reflect what you're reading as well. So it was wonderful. I really recommend it.
Fantastic. So we have finished for today.
Thank you, Anna, for inviting me. I'm very happy to be here.
And I'm very happy to see you. You are beautiful and
Like you, like always.
you very clever yourself. And I know that you are very lucky there because London is beautiful. It's a beautiful city, and there are a lot of things to do as well.
Hmm,
So,
it
and
is indeed.
in autumn must be fantastic as well.
Beautiful. Yes, I live by the woodlands, and we see all the trees falling, like the leaves falling on the floor. It's just a beautiful, beautiful place to be. Yes.
Beautiful. So we are going to stop here the recording, but don't go, eh? Just a
I
second.
won't go. Bye bye.